Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about 5 games your exes play when they want you back. Well, you see a lot of confusing behavior after a breakup, don't you? People will tell you they want something, they insist that this is the right thing, they're committed to it, they're not going to change their mind, and yet their actions and their words don't line up. You're probably seeing some of this from your ex, especially if you've gone no contact and are leaving them alone. If you've been pressuring them, sending them handwritten letters or doing grand gestures, then they're not likely to exhibit the mixed messages yet because they're still so confident with their decision. It's only when they start to feel that space from you that they are really reevaluating if it was the right decision, because now they're afraid of losing you. So one of the things that we see is a lot of mixed messages. Yes, breakups are very confusing. And even though we've been doing this for many, many years and studying it even many years before we even started the channel, we still see a lot of confusing behavior because you can't read people's minds. And people's minds are always changing anyway. So breakups are so fascinating to me for that reason, because there's so many tiny little things that cause a breakup. It's not just loss of attraction. There are so many other reasons. Attachments, being able to attach, mental health. Yes, of course, behavior and attraction is part of that as well. But for me, mental health and attachment are far more important than just simple attraction, okay? Obviously, the person is likely attracted to you in many ways, and that's why they initially even dated you. But you're going to see a lot of inconsistent behavior from exes. So we're going to talk about this because I have some of them that come up more often than others, okay? But it's so confusing because if you love somebody and you want to be with them and they're kind of giving you these mixed messages, it makes you feel like you're stuck or you're like in this holding or waiting zone or waiting area, right? You just can't seem to figure out what you're going to do to move on or not move on. And that's normal because love is powerful. And when you love somebody, you know, you want to be with them. You want to connect with them. You want to feel that warmth from them. It's just so deeply ingrained in us. You can't turn that off. And the other thing that I want to say is that sometimes your exes aren't playing games on purpose. They don't mean to do it. Now, yes, there are people that will, do those kind of things, that they don't have a lot of integrity, but there are people that are genuinely confused, that one minute they're feeling one way and the next they're feeling another, and they don't even understand it themselves. And so they're going to show you mixed messages with their behavior because they're not committed to the idea of one way or the other. They don't even know. Okay? So today I'm going to give you some good examples that are going to be really helpful for you guys. One thing that I see is exes trying to make you jealous, okay? Now, I would say the way we see that the most often is social media. And they do it in such bizarre, obscure ways. A picture of 2 drinks at a table, or a hand close to another hand. I had that one a few months ago where it almost looked like they were holding hands. And so these tiny little clues, but not overtly in your face, something that it's alluding to somebody else being there. And sometimes they want to see your reaction. Sometimes they want to see if you're going to break no contact and you're going to call them and text them and blow up their phone. How could you do this? I see a lot of people lose it, right? They're like, you SOB, I can't take it. I can't believe you did this. Now they've provoked you. Now they know that you care. Now their anxiety goes right back down. All right, it worked. So if you see an ex do something like that, don't let that trick you into breaking no contact and communicating them, okay? They're trying to get attention from you. And if you give it to them, they win. It's like that game Will this get your attention? Don't do it. You got to show strength. Even if you feel weak, show strength to them. Okay, here's another big one. A lot of times, exes will communicate through other people to get messages to you, to get information to you. They'll tell other people certain things, and sometimes it's to provoke you. Sometimes it's to see if you get upset. Oh, they'll tell one of your family members, no, I'm never going to go back with them. I'm done. I'm tired of the way they were treating me, and so I have to move on with my life, blah, 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 blah. And now your family member tells you that, and it triggers you, okay? Gets you upset. I can't believe they said that. Why would you tell them that? You reach out to your ex. Why did you say that? You lose it. So they could be contacting your friends and family to get information to you. Now, it's not always accurate information. That's the thing you have to understand. It's not always information that's even true. They say things sometimes just to get you so upset that you break no contact. You show them that you still care, that you still want them. Then they feel good when they know you still want them. Okay? So you have to stay strong. Okay. Here's another big one. A lot of times you'll have your ex be flaky. Okay? They may agree to see you on a certain day, or yes, let's meet at this day or this time. It doesn't matter what it's about. Maybe it's a closure talk, or yeah, maybe let's get together again. Yeah, okay, I would like to see you to talk about some stuff. And then they cancel a few hours before. Oh, I'm not feeling well. Or I forgot I had this thing. You know which one I hear often? I totally forgot that I promised my roommate that I was going to go to dinner with them and their family who's visiting it out of town. That one comes up quite a bit, actually. But it's always I forgot. It's never, I don't feel like meeting with you yet. This is too soon. They're generally not authentic. And so you get an excuse. They know that if they say something to you like, I'm just not ready to meet yet, you're probably going to press them and push them. Yeah, but I already made plans and I thought we were going to do this tonight. I really wanted to get together. So that's why they're often flaky and do a lot of things that's like, come on, they're canceling now. And it's rude. Of course it's rude. But when you're dealing with a breakup, you don't want to go and start calling them rude, or, you're trying to re-attract them and not make, drama if you don't have to. I mean, sometimes it's okay to stand up for yourself, but more often than that, and if you're in this position and they're wanting to meet up and they're just not ready yet, don't push it, because it's not going to go well anyway. And the whole reason you're wanting to go is so it goes well, you can re-attract them. I see a lot of people that get upset and they get a little pushy. Well, no, you said we should meet up, and so I really think we should meet up. Maybe the ex is like, oh, okay, fine, let's do it. And then what happens? It doesn't go well. The ex doesn't want to be there. They're upset. They're not ready to talk about those things. So don't push those things. You're doing it because you're trying to re-attract, okay? Okay, here's another big one. A lot of times, exes leave things at your house, and it's deliberate, okay? Even if they take a lot of their stuff out, I have seen so many times people will leave a handful of things, 5, 10 things that may seem insignificant, but believe me, they're like planted, right? They're there for a reason. If they really wanted all their stuff gone, they take everything. But they leave some things because now they've got an excuse to come over, to contact you, to drop by. And people do stuff like this all the time. They don't want to admit it. A lot of times if a woman's interested in a guy, she'll leave something behind at his house. A little piece of jewelry, makeup, or a scrunchie, hair scrunchie. And she's looking for those things too. Believe me, guys. A woman is looking in your car for those things. They're marking their territory. Ladies, you know it's true. And so this is a different aspect of it, but people leaving things kind of around, marking their territory, and that could be another reason too. They left stuff, so if you have somebody over, it's just enough there that somebody will know, oh, what's going on in this closet, or, you know, there's some things around here. Are they single? So if it looks a little suspicious as to why they didn't take everything, then there might be something behind it. Not always, but something to consider. This is like something you're evaluating when you're looking at the big picture, right? Here's another big one. They want to try and keep you as a friend, right? That's not going to work for you, is it? Wouldn't work for me. But why? Because they're not sure. They don't want to completely let you go. If they do, they could lose you to somebody else. But, you know, if they try to keep you as a friend, well, now you've got something to really think about for yourself. You have to make the decision for yourself. Are they taking romance off the table? Is it just going to be platonic? Because if it's going to be just platonic, that's when I would advise you to walk away. Don't just be their friend, okay? If they're willing to be romantic with you and there's still that chemistry and that spark, but they're just not sure if they want to be in a committed relationship again, that's a different story. Now, that being said, I don't want you guys to get used. So, a lot of ladies will have guys that are coming around just to be intimate with them, just to hook up. I don't want you to do it if you feel like the person doesn't really care about you or is using you. In that case, don't go along with that. But if you think that they genuinely care about you and it's because they feel a strong connection with you and they're not just using you or lying to you, that's different. Of course, you have to do what's comfortable for you, and each one of you is different. But it's helpful when you think about that person and the kind of person they are and the heart that they have. You know them and their character. So character has a big part to do with that, okay? Now, one last thing to consider in regards to the stuff is it's a good excuse to contact you. I often talk about the indirect direct approach. Reaching out to an ex, even somebody that you've dumped, is scary because, you know, if you haven't talked in a while, even though they may have broken up with you, they may be scared that you'll reject them, that you'll be mean to them, that you'll be cruel to them. I know it's confusing, but you should hear how many times exes are afraid to reach out because they think that you, quote unquote, hate them, right? So they could be using these things as an excuse to reach out to you. And it has to do with their confusion of, I don't know what I want, I don't know how I feel, so I'm going to contact you about these things, but then I don't show up because I'm not really ready and I don't really know what I want yet, and so they're kind of all over the place. I got one last one here that's kind of like a bonus one. Sometimes I will see your ex try to get you to be vulnerable. That's big. They may say something in hopes that they can provoke you to open up. How are you feeling? What do they want to know? They want to know if you miss them. They want to know if they still have you. That's really what they want to know. So they'll say little things. How are you doing? Do you miss me? That doesn't happen too often with the do you miss me. But little things. They'll look for little things that they're just trying to get you to kind of be vulnerable, open up. I miss you. Can't we work it out? Don't you think we could be good together? I feel like we're supposed to be together. And then we kind of spiral. So be careful if they're trying to get you to be vulnerable. You don't want to look like you don't care, but you also don't want to give them too much either. You want to kind of show that you're doing well to the best that you can in a way that you're not coming across like you don't care about the person or that you just don't want to hear from them anymore, because then they're likely to give up and be afraid of rejection themselves. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys to really have a better understanding of games your exes may be playing with you when they're confused and kind of toying with coming back and not really sure what they want. I want to hear your examples on this one, because there are a lot of little specific examples that each of you guys will get in these kind of situations, and I want to see them. And so if you have some and your ex has done some of these, let us know, okay? So hopefully this video has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you could go to my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.